Okay, today we are making a pinch pot. Not very difficult. We should all be able to follow along, and there's going to be some hiccups here and there. We'll work through it together. We're going to start with a piece of clay about the size of a baseball. And if it's not round, we're just going to hold it in our hands and squish it with our palms. And we're just compressing it a little bit until we make it round. You're going to notice as you're doing this, your hands are getting wet. So you want to make sure that you don't take a really long time making it round. Eventually the outside of your clay is going to start to crack as it dries. We're keeping an eye on that as we go. All right, I have my ball of clay. It does not need to be perfect. It's basically round. If it's the size of a softball, it's too big. If it's the size of a ping pong ball, it's too small. You want it to be a baseball, a round. Step one, take my thumb and stick it right down into the middle. Now at this point, I want to make sure I'm as close to the middle as I can get, or I'm going to end up with a very lopsided cup. I also want to make sure that I don't go all the way through the bottom, because at that point I've just made a donut, and that will not work for us. All right, this is called a pinch pot for a reason. I'm going to pinch gently on the clay. Release, slowly turn. I'm going to pinch gently again. If I'm not gentle and slow right now, the clay is going to tear itself apart. Clay likes to move slow. It likes to react slow. So I'm going to slowly move around. My fingers are together. They are flat, so I'm getting a flat wall. If my fingers are round, it will create a round wall. So right now I want it to be a flat wall. I've made it around about once, and you can see starting to create an opening in the middle. That's working out. I've got some big cracks I got to watch out for. We're going to touch on those in a second. Second time around, I'm aiming for all the ridges that are sticking up from the first time around. Again, moving slow. Moving gentle. Okay. Gently working my way around, starting to open things up. I'm holding it in my left hand so that it's not supporting its own weight while I'm pinching. I am not putting my fingers inside. Notice this natural shape that my hand takes that just happens to fit over the curve of the cup. All right? That fits. If I put my fingers in there, we're going to start splaying the top out. You're going to get a lot of splitting at the top, and that's going to be a problem. Okay, I have my general shape. It's not perfect just yet, but I have some big cracks I want to take care of. We know that clay is minerals and water. So in order to get the surface to smooth out, I can add a little water once I get that flattened out. Over here, I've got just a basic little thing of water. I've got an old sponge that I cut up into some smaller pieces. I could add a tiny bit of water, not a lot. We don't want to make a huge mess. And now as I gently rub with my finger across the surface, we can get everything to melt and blend together. My small cracks, my big cracks can all be taken care of this way. Any huge gaping issues, say I've got a massive crack that showed up in here, you're okay as long as it's soft. We'll make sure to get these things squished back together gently, and then we pull across. Again, a little bit of water on my thumb is gonna help smooth this out. Now, you hear me say a little bit of water on there. If you go and load this up with water, you're gonna end up with a very sloppy mess at your table. You do not want that. Your parents don't want that. Nobody wants the big sloppy mess. Remember to begin clean, build clean, and we end clean. All right, I don't have any huge cracks in here. We're getting there. Would you say that this is finished? I wouldn't. Some things I wanna focus on. I have a lopsided bottom. So if I want to straighten that out, I'm going to put it up on the table and I'm going to press it down. All right, now that is flattened out. Looking pretty good. I got a flat bottom. If I look directly across the lip, I need you to back up, sweetie. If I look directly across the lip, I can see now if it's wavy. There's any parts that stick up really high, any parts that stick up really low. So I want to aim for the high spots and just slowly bring them down. If I push too hard, I'm going to give myself even more problems. And now I'm going to work my way around, just trying to make it as even as I can. If you're getting very thin up here and you're splitting apart, you've just gone too thin. We can't get too thin. We need to have enough clay in order to hold its structure. If you have any big holes or anything inside, like I got a big gap right here, I'm going to use my thumb and gently rub over and over until that smooths out. I get rid of all my cracks and try to make this as perfect as I can. Now, I'm a perfectionist. I don't know about you, so I can't handle this being anywhere other than completely flat. If you can't do that with your finger, what I like to do is get onto a flat surface and just gently tap it nice and gentle, until we get a good, perfect, even surface across the entire top. And that should be good. All right, now here we have ourselves a basic pinch pot.